What did Nani have to give up to allow Lilo to thrive? To be the hardworking, patient, and compassionate older sister and guardian of the struggling Lilo, aspects of Nani's life had to be turned away from, including a dream. Hello, I'm Isaac from What's So Videos, where we discuss fun topics for fun people. On my channel, I focus on spreading magic by examining Disney films, so if you are new here, consider subscribing. But before we go into all that Nani did for Lilo, I would first like to give a massive thank you to today's sponsor, Amino. Similarly to how I'm focused on spreading positivity and magic through my Disney videos on YouTube, Amino Apps is focused on empowering fans to share their passions using the millions of different aminos for communities of people to unite behind. Recently, I have been working with Amino to post stories on their app all about the wonderful characters and stories of Disney. To find people who are interested in what you're passionate about and to support the channel, download the free Amino app, and after you've done that, then feel free to search my profile name Watso to follow what I do there and to check out the stories I've been working on. I love how natural, real, and grounded Lilo and Nani's sister relationship always feels. Their bond doesn't seem contrived, meaning when Nani worked so hard to be there for Lilo, I could feel the consequences of that. I've come to realize as I have passed the age Nani was when we were first introduced to her, that while she is young, she's making extremely intelligent, adult, and honorable decisions for herself and Lilo that I respect tremendously. Back when Nani had braces, could just love chocolate, and was taking hula classes at the age of 13, Nani's younger sister Lilo was born into the world. Over the next few years, Nani was able to witness Lilo grow up in a home with their loving parents. But 6 years later, after their parents were unexpectedly killed in a car accident one night during a storm, Nani, as Lilo's closest living relative, was appointed as her legal guardian. When Nani took on the role of guardian, she did so very seriously, knowing she would do everything in her power to better her sister's life. Nani desired for Lilo to have a support system and family who accepted her, some type of group that Lilo could depend on even if they were broken.
Oh, Lilo, I wish there was something I could do.
To create a home for them, Nani cooked, cleaned, welcomed aliens to live with them, and preserved their mother's traditions. She put in the effort for Lilo to have normality and consistency in her life.
I have been cooking for hours and finally picked up the house just so we can have quality fun time like Mom used to.
She wanted Lilo to succeed and did what she could to be there for her and to attempt to understand her struggles. Nani doesn't want Lilo to compromise herself while striving to be the best person she can be though. Through all of Lilo's antics, passions, and unique behaviors, Nani patiently and actively supported Lilo being herself. But she was aware that at times Lilo deserved to have a little discipline in her life.
Go to your room and make up like loving friends.
Sure, at times when Nani is stressed and angry, she could snap at Lilo without a suitable reason to. But Lilo wanted their sister relationship to be preserved, which included having conflict at times. For the most part, when Nani came down on Lilo, it was to ensure that Lilo was behaving decently and was aware of what was expected of her, not to make Lilo feel bad about herself. Nani was also simply defensive and protective of Lilo, bravely taking on whoever or whatever she needed to in order to protect her family. Nonetheless, even though she was one tough sister, Nani was sympathetic and thoughtful as well. During the moments where Lilo was having a difficult moment in her life, Nani was quick to comfort her and provide her with guidance. It's in these heart-to-heart conversations with Lilo where Nani truly shines as a sister.
Sometimes things have to change, and maybe sometimes they're for the better.
When Nani could see that Lilo needed more than just her, she was willing to sacrifice what she had to ensure Lilo's long-term happiness. But why did Nani place so much importance on supporting Lilo? While Nani had chosen to raise Lilo herself because Lilo was her sister and Nani valued her ohana above all else, I believe the reason she put in so much effort into Lilo's well-being was because she knew she could never be able to do for Lilo what their parents had done for her. Nani was not who Lilo wanted or needed to be with when she was growing up.
I wish Mom were here.
I'm doing the best I can.
Well, it's not good enough.
Don't you think I know that?
Although Nani knew she would be unable to provide Lilo with the life she knew her mother and father could have given her, Nani was also aware that no one else could raise Lilo now that they were gone.
I'm the only one who understands her. You take that away, she won't stand a chance.
Nani doesn't believe what she can accomplish will ever live up to what her parents could do, but without them, Lilo needed her. The only way Nani would ever get close to being what her parents were in her mind was to put Lilo's future over her own. Being there for Lilo in every way she could, though, came with consequences for her own life. With the remaining members of her family falling under her responsibility at the age of 19, choices had to be made. Parts of Nani's life had to be turned away from when the many battles that would attempt to pull Lilo away from her began to occur in their lives. Even though Nani hoped to be the best guardian she could be for Lilo, she had to constantly prove her capacity to do that to herself and the many social workers she encountered. While no one desired to separate the two sisters, those who advocated for Lilo's best interests were skeptical of whether or not Nani was the figure Lilo needed. When Nani and Lilo's parents died, Nani had to act quickly to avoid the reality that the last member of her family could be stripped away from her, which we learn from the experiment Spooky is actually Nani's greatest fear. To do this, Nani continues to bring her Ohana to a better position through her efforts, which was a lot to undertake as a 19-year-old. Nani had to navigate finding a balance between being a parental figure while remaining a sister to Lilo. She had to scrounge for any work she could, which at first got her a waitressing job and subsequently led her to working at a rental hut and finally at the Birds of Paradise Hotel. And Nani was forced to learn how to manage a home that was suitable for a child. With little experience having a full-time job while also needing to create an environment to raise a child in, Nani had to learn quickly and focus her energy. At times though, Nani came up short, partly due to her mismanagement of her life as she was learning, and also because of mistakes made by Lilo herself. But Nani ensures Lilo never feels guilt for those moments. Instead, Nani takes responsibility for her own situation.
Did you lose your job because of Stitch and me?
Nah, the manager's a vampire, and he wanted me to join his Legion of the Undead.
With a firm desire to keep Lilo in her life, and with so much to undertake so soon after adolescence, there were parts of Nani's life that had to be put to the side to prioritize Lilo. The reality was that there were fewer options on what she could do and what she could become while Lilo was growing up. Although Nani excelled greatly in math and chemistry, two subjects I also really enjoyed, after high school, she wasn't able to pursue these interests or a passion of hers through a higher degree. Nani was restricted by how far she could move forward academically because of her other responsibilities. Without a diploma from a university, though, that meant she was also heavily restricted by what jobs she could have, and that meant for her, the work she was doing was often much less fulfilling than she desired. Nani also put her friends and romantic relationships to the side as her life became more hectic. Junior high friends Ellen and Lana admitted they hadn't heard from Nani for years after they left school and the island. But even those who were close to Nani couldn't find much time to be with her, such as her friend, who would eventually become her boyfriend, David. Even though Nani likes how nice David is along with his butt and fancy hair, for a long period of time she has to keep rejecting him.
David, I told you, I can't. I got a lot to deal with right now.
With a chaotic life, she has to put her romantic relationship to the side to ensure she is in the best state to be there for Lilo.
David, I'm not ready for a real date yet. Things are still kind of low around here.
But while all of those sacrifices were difficult to deal with at times when choosing to be the guardian for Lilo, I think the hardest one to live with was the one that was not so clear as the others. On the first morning of Stitch's arrival to Nani and Lilo's home, Stitch and Lilo enter Nani's room to show her a crazy record trick, and it is here where we get to see a part of Nani's past that isn't often brought up. I believe she was a surfing champion. On Nani's headboard, on her wall, and scattered along shelves are trophies, medals, and ribbons that all appear to be for competitive surfing. By the way they are prominently displayed within her space, these awards seem to mean a great deal to her, and are a great source of pride for Nani. If these symbols of victories had been bestowed to her while she was a child, or were from small competitions, I don't think Nani would feature them like they are. I think these are relics of a recent time when Nani was growing to dominate the surfing scene. From the way Nani expertly surfs, tearing up small waves and handling huge waves even while others are on her board, and the way we never see her fall off her board until Jumba collides with it, we can see that her skills are there. From her medals, her abilities, and of course her diligence to work hard on the tasks in her life, who knows how far she could have gotten as a surfer. Maybe that could have even been her career. But even if that was within her grasp, she left that competitive life behind her. I think the dream of becoming a professional surfer was left behind by Nani, truly showing that she was willing to give up everything to keep the person she loves more than anyone in her life. While Nani sacrificed many aspects of her life for Lilo, and I think she would make that choice over again, a part of her feels insecure based on what she has accomplished during her life. A part of her believes she doesn't have anything to be proud of, since she doesn't have a lavish lifestyle or an impressive career.
And honestly, it's nice to have someone think you're super successful for once, you know?
In my opinion though, Nani has everything to be proud of. When Lilo and Nani's parents died, Nani chose to raise Lilo on her own, a feat I can barely imagine taking on in her situation. She gave up her plans and her dreams to fight custody battles, work where she could, and act to build up her sister who needed someone to be patient with her and support her in a way only Nani could. While Nani didn't achieve exactly what she was envisioning for herself, she was by no means a failure. In their parents' absence, Nani was raising her sister with as much love as she could give, while also creating a new family. I don't think Nani has anything to be ashamed about, and I don't really think she was giving up parts of her life so much as prioritizing what was important. She chose to successfully remain a committed, responsible, and loving older sister for Lilo. But now it's time to hear your thoughts. Do you think you would be able to do what Nani did for Lilo? For me, the commitment Nani demonstrates to the well-being of her family is so incredibly grounded and amazing to witness, which is honestly why I just felt a massive desire to show how much she truly did for her small, broken family. Let me know what you think in the comments, along with any other ideas you have for future videos. Thank you again to Amino for sponsoring today's video. Remember to check out their free app to connect with people with similar passions to you, and feel free to search my username Watso to stay up to date with what I'm doing over there. Everyone deserves to feel included and to be a part of a community, and you can likely find one for you on Amino. To see more Lilo and Stitch videos like this one, you can find a link to those videos in the description, including the last one I posted on why Myrtle bullied Lilo, which received massive support that I couldn't be more grateful for. And if you'd like to continue to see more magical discussions like this one, then don't forget to click that subscribe button and the beautiful bell if you're new. Thank you to my wonderful patrons over on Patreon who are amazing supporters of my videos, and as always, thanks for watching and have a magical day.